If you feel like your motivation is gone and you just keep telling yourself you have to try harder, work harder, and you just don't feel like you have the same drive that you used to, then this is your gentle pep talk. Hi friends, welcome to Peace in Progress. I'm Mary Beth, and today I want to talk about motivation, or losing motivation, because it's something we all struggle with from time to time. And the first thing that I want to say is if you feel unmotivated, it doesn't mean that you're failing. It doesn't mean that you're falling behind. It doesn't mean you're broken or that something's wrong with you. And it doesn't mean you're lazy. It just means that you're human. I've said it many times before, but our society really promotes productivity. And it's great to be productive. Of course, it's great to have goals and to work towards them. These are all good things. Sometimes we push ourselves too hard. Sometimes even past the point where our body's saying we can't handle anymore. Maybe you're feeling unmotivated and overwhelmed at work. Maybe you're trying for that next promotion, or it's just a really busy time at work. Or maybe you've taken on too many home improvement projects. That's happened to me before. And you just look around and you just feel completely overwhelmed and unmotivated to finish anything because it's just too much. And another reason you might feel unmotivated is because of the comparison trap. It's another thing that I've talked about before, but in this age of social media, especially, it's very easy to fall into that trap. You're comparing yourself to other people, looking at what they're doing and wondering why you can't do the same thing or have the same things. And of course, this is not good for you, and I strongly encourage you to spend less time on social media, even before social media, because I'm old enough to have lived in a time before it. There has always been comparison, always trying to keep up with somebody else, or what you think somebody else is doing is always going to lead to overwhelm and can definitely lead to feeling unmotivated. And I want to pause here for a moment and just say that I'm talking today about the times here and there where you feel a little unmotivated and a little overwhelmed. If you feel like maybe you're suffering from depression and you haven't already gotten professional help, I encourage you to do so. So, what's the first thing that you think of doing when you start to feel overwhelmed and unmotivated? Do you think you should push harder? Do you have that little voice in the back of your head that says, this is not the time to slack off. This is not the time to rest. That means that you're lazy or lacking discipline. Or do you just completely give up and hide under the covers for a few days? Those are both valid options, and sometimes you might do one and sometimes you might do the other. But I want to share with you some of my ideas, things that I do, and what helps me, and to also give you some ideas of what might work for you. So when I first start feeling that overwhelming feeling or feel unmotivated, I do give myself that evening, or if it's the weekend, the whole day, to just lay around and do nothing if that's what I feel like doing. I think that there's nothing wrong with that. Giving yourself a soft day or a mental health break. If you work for a place that gives mental health days off, by all means, take it. Sometimes we can't do that though. So if you have an evening or a weekend day where you can just give your body and give your mind that time to just kind of recover a little bit. And then after that, I think it's a good idea to go to your happy place. So Happy place doesn't have to be a place. It could be like the park, the beach, the forest, the mountains, any place outside if that's what you like. Or it could be a place like the library or a friend's house, whatever your happy place is. It can also be doing an activity that you enjoy. So for me, it would be doing something creative. I like painting, making things. A lot of times I'll feel like making a new wreath for my front door or picking up the crochet hook and just making something quick, something that can get my mind off of things, but also being able to create something. And a kind of new thing that I've seen is the adult coloring books. And I think those are really great for people who don't feel like they're super artistic or creative. All you need is a coloring book and some markers or colored pencils or even crayons, and just color the pictures like you did when you were a little kid. It really gets your mind off of things, gets your hands moving, and when your hands are busy and your mind is thinking about it, the project that you're working on, then you aren't thinking about all the stressful things in your life. So creating can take lots of forms, not just creating physical things, but also creating music, playing music, writing music. Maybe pick up the instrument that you used to play a long time ago that you've kind of given up on, or learn to play a new instrument. And we also have a built-in instrument, our voices. You can sing a song, sing along with your favorite music. I mean, it's anything that makes you feel joy. And also, if you aren't a creative person, maybe you're more of a physical person. So, running, hiking, swimming, going to the gym, anything that makes you feel good again, clears out your head, gets your mind kind of working in a different way. It's a great way to get your motivation back. So if you're feeling a little stuck, maybe you're not sure what your happy place would be, this is a great time to get out your journal and just start brainstorming. You can write down some of the things that I just said and think about it. Maybe you didn't think of yourself as someone who likes to walk in the woods or walk in the mountains. Maybe it's something you want to try. Or you want to try to paint or draw, play an instrument, or learn something new. So actually taking the time to think about it and get it down in your journal is a good way to have it ready for the times that you are feeling more overwhelmed and unmotivated. Because when you're in those moments, it is harder to think of what you can do to make yourself feel better. And your happy place doesn't have to be the same every time. So if the weather's not great, maybe your happy place would be something indoors. And when the weather is nice, getting out, even just a walk in the sun, can make a world of difference. But I think the main thing that I want to say and convey to you is that feeling unmotivated sometimes is perfectly normal. It doesn't mean that you can't get back up and push forward again towards your goals. It's just a little bump in the road and a very necessary one. Taking care of yourself is so important. It isn't selfish to do so. A lot of times we don't have control over what's going on in our lives. If work is busy or you're a caretaker, I know it's difficult to find the time for yourself. Realizing how important it is to keep yourself from burning out or from getting sick, I think that will help push you into being able to do it for yourself. It isn't selfish to want to do that. You can't care for others. You can't give to other people if you have nothing in you to give. So you need to keep your bucket full through self-care and going to your happy place and giving yourself the love and the attention that you need. So I'm really curious, what's your happy place? Let me know in the comments. I'm really glad you're here, and if you like these kind of topics, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel and join this little community that I'm trying to create. And as always, take care of yourself, and I hope to see you next time.